Hi, everyone. So let's take a look at the energy that lays ahead for us for the weekend ahead. So, my intention for this spread is just to cover the weekend, going into the weekend for the next 3 days, or the next 3 days from whenever you're watching this video. So, I'd like to start with an archetype card first, just to see what energy you are currently sitting in as we move into the weekend. So we have the empty room, and the empty room is a card of potential. So this is a good sign to me, I think, that you have a very low expectation for what's going to happen this weekend. You are pretty much ready for anything, and the potential is great. So in other words, you are perhaps don't have a lot of plans this weekend yet, or if you do have plans, you don't have a lot of expectations for how those plans are going to go. So this weekend is really full of potential for you, and I love that. So let's get some tarot. I have 4 tarot decks here that we're going to use for our surface level and then clarification. So let's see. So we have the King of Swords, the Chariot, the 10 of Swords, the Knight of Wands. Underneath, 4 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, Temperance, the Hierophant, and underneath everything is the Page of Cups. Okay. So with the Page of Cups underneath everything, this is certainly telling me that this is a message from your inner child. Your inner child really wants to come out to play this weekend, which is great that we're starting with the empty room, because if you don't have any already pre-existing ideas or preconceptions of what the weekend is going to look like, it could take a very creative turn that you might just be inspired out of the blue to create something this weekend. The Page of Cups is a very creative energy and a very playful and childlike energy. I've been getting a lot of readings lately about a need to really channel your inner child and to remember what you loved to do as a child. What was it, that thing that really lit you up when you were a kid? What was it that you loved more than anything? And you might be called to do that this weekend. So, but let's see. Let's go through all of this. There is also a feeling here coming through with the Page of Cups that your inner child really wants to tell you that they're waiting for you in the inside, so that your inner child lives in your heart space and in your heart chakra. So there may be a need for you to meditate or pray or even speak out loud or write a letter to your inner child to somehow find that inner child in an almost literal sense, is what I'm getting from that. So, but this empty room is coming in with the 4 of Cups. And I like that because it's still a very balanced emotion. The 4 of Cups is a very stable and balanced emotional state. It's so stable and balanced that you're almost bored. And with the empty room, it's giving a similar energy that in an empty room, the potential for you to be at peace is so great. There's this great potential for peace, but also perhaps a potential for boredom, because a lot of times if we have nothing to do, if we're sitting in an empty room, if our emotions are supremely balanced, that can lead to a sense of boredom. So I'm getting a little bit of that right now, which may be why you will call upon your inner child just to find something fun to do, because maybe your weekends have become too repetitive. Maybe you're always doing the same thing, weekend in and weekend out. Your weekends always look the same. That this is really calling you perhaps to look at it differently and do something creative. Talk to your inner child and figure out what that is. So you're being asked to focus on your inner King of Swords. So your King of Swords is your analytical side, your intelligence, your truthfulness. What is your truth? What does that look like for you? And the King of Swords doesn't have a lot of fear either. The King of Swords is pretty fearless because he has seen so much conflict in his life. And I say he because of the card. It doesn't have anything to do with your personal gender. But the King of Swords has dealt with so much conflict that he is able to really understand fears and know how to confront them. And he knows he's protected. So with the Seven of Pentacles here, it's really asking you to focus on something that you have already invested in. So perhaps there's a project that you have already started or something you've been thinking about doing, something that you may have thought at one point in your life might pay off, but then you sort of let it fall by the wayside. So examples of this might be if you once were inspired to start a business, but you never really did. You may have gotten a few of the pieces off the ground, but then stopped. Or that book or that screenplay that you started writing a month ago or a year ago, make it make sense for you. But this is telling me there's some intelligent piece of work that you started working on, and there's a little bit that's done, but you have perhaps neglected it or gave up on it or thought it was going to go nowhere, so you stopped. Well, this is telling me that this weekend would be the perfect time for you to focus on that again. I think that your challenge here with the Chariot and the Knight of Cups, your challenge is going to be distractions this weekend. There may be people who want to come into your life, who want to, with the Knight of Cups, there might be a little frivolity involved, for example, that it's the weekend after all, right? So the people in our lives, our friends, our family members, our love interests, they might want to come around and take us out on dates or want to go out to the movies or out to eat or whatever it is you do with your people. That's going to be your challenge this weekend, it looks like, because I'm seeing the Chariot and the Knight of Cups. And so this is an energy of doing fun things and being romantic or being flirtatious or hanging out with friends, that kind of energy. So I do think that, of course, that could be a challenge for you this weekend if you're being asked to sit quietly in this empty room, channel your inner child, and try to think of that passion project that your inner child would love, some creative spark that's brewing inside of you that may be something you already started in the past. It's easy to get distracted with fun things, with parties that come along or make it make sense for you. But this challenge is the distractions, because the weekends it's easy to get distracted. The message coming through here, though, is the Ten of Swords. So there is something here, and especially with Temperance, because this is telling me that your angels are really trying to convey some kind of a message to you about putting an end to something. So we're going to clarify this, but it feels like there's some part of, perhaps it's whoever is distracting you, whoever is coming in, that it's time to put an end to something, whatever that is for you. And I'm getting a sense it's whatever this, I want to say frivolity, whatever that is for you. If your friends are drinking a lot on the weekends, for example, it's a random example, but your angels and guides are really here in this column saying to put an end to that, that it's time for you to really move your life forward in a different direction. And again, ask your inner child, sit in an empty room. This is saying be by yourself this weekend, the empty room, and don't do the things you do weekend in and weekend out. It's time to do something different. Put an end to whatever you usually do and really focus on that thing that you once had a passion for. Because with the Knight of Wands here, I feel like you still have a passion for that thing, but you just have been so distracted with things that don't matter, or things that are superficial, or things that are short-lived, that you're not doing the long-term investment thing that your angels and spirit guides are really calling you to do. So I like that this Knight of Wands is here, because it does feel like you're confident about whatever this is, and you have a strong passion for whatever this project is that your inner child is really calling you towards. And with the Hierophant here, this is really telling me that this is some kind of spiritual lesson that you're meant to learn here. To, again, not to be too redundant here, to really not be distracted by the fun things and focus on the things that you're passionate about. They're both going to be fun. One just requires more discipline than the other. So, but let's start clarifying and see what we can come up with here. So with the empty room, we have the Page of Cups again. This could not be more clear that your inner child wants you to sit by yourself this weekend and try to come up with whatever this project is that you are destined to do. We have Temperance and Hierophant here saying this is your destiny. This is exactly what you're meant to do, and this is the lesson you're meant to learn. With the King of Swords, we have the Seven of Wands, the Two of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, and we have the King of Swords again. I'm just going to get all these cards out so then we can just start interpreting them. I do see the Seven of Wands here with the Seven of Pentacles. This is about discipline. The Seven of Wands is really standing your ground on something. And it's also, the wands are that passion energy. So this is really saying to use your discipline and really dig deep into whatever this passion project is or was for you. So then we have the Page of Cups again. In this deck, it's called the Dawn of Cups, but we now have the Page of Cups clarifying the Page of Cups, clarifying the Page of Cups. And this is why I like using several different decks, because it's really, these synchronicities really help us to confirm that we are definitely on the right track. So, but let's get the rest of these cards out. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and the Eight of Swords. And from this deck, we have the Ace of Pentacles again, the Magician, the Eight of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the High Priestess. Okay, so we have all of our cards. So let's look at this. So once again, we have the Page of Cups with the Page of Cups, now with the Ace of Pentacles. So what this is telling me again is for you to really speak to your inner child. There is an opportunity here that the universe is giving you, that if you can just quiet your mind this weekend, you will be able to find what this opportunity is. And I think it's a project you have already started. So then with the Seven of Wands, we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Magician. This is saying the same thing. The Knight of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles are saying the same thing, to really do the hard work, do the diligent work that you already began with this project, and you'll start to see these things pay off. The Knight of Pentacles is a very hard-working type of energy. So you are being asked this weekend, again, to ignore the fun stuff and work hard on this project, because the angels here and the ancestors here are saying you're still going to have a fun weekend. Keep your expectations low with this empty room and really do that work that you love to do, because it's going to really change your life, is what I'm getting with the Magician. So as far as your challenges go, we have the Two of Pentacles, which is about a choice. So this is confirming this idea that you do have a choice between just going out and hanging out with your friends or your family or whatever you do for fun, or you can take this opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is also about hard work. So the Two of Pentacles is confirming that you have a choice, but your angels are here saying, please choose to do the work, because it's not going to feel like work. It's going to be fun, but it might just be that initial inertia getting started on this project that will be the hardest part. But once you dive back into writing that book, you might be so excited and enamored with the story that it's just going to take off. And that's what I'm getting from this. So then with the Ten of Swords, we have the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Cups. These cards just keep repeating themselves. So I think this Nine of Cups can be an energy of overindulgence. And I think with this 10 of Swords, that is exactly what your angels are telling you not to do. So to use the random example that I used, but make it make sense for you, if you're drinking too much with your friends on the weekends, the angels are saying, please put a stop to that. That has run its course. That cycle is over. It's time for you to really focus on your future now and to think about these passion projects and the ways that you can change your life. And this King of Wands is saying for you to really take a leadership role in your own life. And when these people come around and say, we're going out to the bar, you can say, not this time. I'm staying home in my empty room and I'm working on this project that I love. And the people who truly care about you, your real friends, and the people who really want to support you, they will understand that. And then finally, with our last position here with the Knight of Wands, we have the King of Swords again. So we're seeing the King of Swords here. We're seeing the Eight of Swords and the High Priestess. So this is a very interesting message that's coming through with these cards, is that there is this element of fear that's coming through for you when it comes to this project. So the Eight of Swords is definitely about irrational fear. But I like that the King of Swords and the High Priestess are coming in with this, because what I'd said when we first sat down and looked at this King of Swords, I had said that this king has handled a lot of conflict. So there really is no one better than the King of Swords to handle these Eight of Swords, because this king is so skilled at handling fear and conflict. And with the help of your intuition, which is what we were saying with this empty room, it might be time to meditate, talk to your inner child, really tap into your heart space. And in this case, tap into your third eye and your intuition to help you work through those fears. Because it may be that fear has kept you from completing this project, and that why you're so easily distracted because you want to continue to procrastinate whatever this project is. And so this is really saying to you to use this fire energy of the Knight of Wands to really push this project forward and to really tap into your third eye. And to do that, again, you really have to spend time alone. And I keep being called to tell you that, to being alone this weekend and really meditating and sitting with your own intuition, your own inspiration, and your own inner child is the way. So that's the reading for the weekend. That is all the advice that your angels have for you. But I would like to pull a couple of inner child cards just because we had 3 Page of Cups show up here. Let's get 2 of these. So there's disappointment is not the end. There is hope even in the darkest of nights. So I was getting a feeling with the 7 of Pentacles that maybe you thought this project that you started a long time ago was going to be a failure, or perhaps it did fail in some regards. But this is telling me that disappointment is not the end. So there is a need here to really revisit this thing. And that's a very strong message that's coming through. And then we have be true to who you are. Fear will not stop you from shining. That's the same energy we were getting from this 8 of Swords. I was saying this is an irrational fear. So you're stopping yourself from getting a project done because maybe you're worried about failure. You're worried about disappointment, that you've tried this before and it went nowhere. But your angels are saying, yeah, but now is the time. Now is the time to do it. And they're here to support you. Your angels are putting wind in your back in order to make sure that this project is successful this time. So make that make sense for you, but the reading is very clear to me. So let's get one final oracle card and we'll wrap this up. So we have hoping, expecting, faith, and manifesting. So same message. Your angels are saying to have hope in this project. We have the word manifesting and we have magician showing up here. This is your time. This is your time to manifest whatever this dream was that you had in the past that you felt was going nowhere. Well, the angels are saying, well, the divine timing is now. So get that book back out of the closet. Get that hard drive that you've saved all of these work ideas, your business ideas, whatever that is, bring that back to life. And because the divine timing is now. So, wow, congratulations. So, please let me know if this was resonant for you, and definitely let me know if you want to about what projects you're working on because it sounds very exciting. And we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.